Well, hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well today. Happy Tuesday to you all. I am hopping on for our Tuesday live at 5. Going to be finishing our conversation on relationships and talking about disagreeing without being disagreeable. So, this is part 2 of what we started a couple of weeks ago. Um, we talked about 5 things that we wanted to address when we have disagreements, when we have arguments, when we have what we called, I think I called it heated conversations, or don't remember exactly. I don't remember what I said a couple of weeks ago. I had another cool name for it, but again, talking about disagreeing without being disagreeable in our relationships, because it's so important for us to recognize that we're going to have disagreements. They're going to come. They're part of relationships. They're part of engaging and interacting with other people. We have different likes, different dislikes, things that are more important to one person than they are to the other. So we want to make sure that we are learning how to have these difficult conversations, but do it in a way that, as I said, which is actually, I'm giving you a clue to the last thing we're going to talk about, that maintains the integrity of our relationships and helps us to continue moving forward in our relationships in a healthy way, in a productive way, and ultimately in a way that is honoring to God. So if you are on, have my Instagram live folks on, Facebook folks, let me know where you are listening from, where you are watching from. Happy to have you on this afternoon. We're going to jump on and get started. I've had a busy day. I'm actually out of town. Taught at a conference today, taught 2 different sessions today. And then I will be doing another virtual conference this evening. So it's a busy Tuesday for me, more so than usual, but it's fun. I enjoy this is what I love to do. So definitely glad to be on with you all. So we're going to jump right in. Let's see. I'm checking a couple of things on the computer and the phone to make sure we are good to go. And so we're going to go ahead and roll in. So disagreeing without being disagreeable, part 2. As I said, we talked 2 weeks ago. We did part 1 of disagreeing without being disagreeable. So today we want to finish that up in our series that we've been talking the past few times that we've been on, just about relationships. And we're going to transition in a couple of weeks to talk about some other things, but we want to finish this up. So the first thing that I want to keep in mind, what you ought to keep in mind, or maybe this would probably be number 6 technically, but we'll go ahead and keep it with number 1 for the sake of today and keeping it simple. So the first thing that we want to keep in mind when we talk about continuing this conversation on disagreeing without being disagreeable, we want to use our words. Now that may sound silly. That may sound like, Catherine, what are you talking about? Obviously, we're talking, so we're using our words. What I mean is this: we want to make sure that we're not relying on nonverbal cues to express what we're thinking and or what we're feeling. So, for instance, slamming the refrigerator door when you're angry about something that has happened. Communicate that using your words, and don't use nonverbal clues and or cues and believe that your spouse or your partner is just going to figure out what you're upset about. So you want to express what's happening, express what's impacting you, and what it is that you need from your spouse or your partner, but you want to do it using your words. And remember, I think we talked about this the last time that we were here. Make sure that you're using I statements. I feel irritated. I feel frustrated, whatever that may be. You want to make sure that you're using your words to verbalize the expression, the feeling, the emotion that you are having. And then you want to round it out with the why. I feel frustrated when the house isn't tidy. And then you want to talk about, because it seems to me that it is not important to you when I come home and I have to do all the work. So whatever the issue may be, you want to make sure that you are expressing that with words. And then you want to round it out with a positive. Could you please remember to put your shoes in the closet and not leave them in the middle of the floor when you get home? I would really appreciate that. So you're expressing what is, you're asking for what you need, and then you're moving forward. Doesn't have to be a long drawn out type of thing, but you just want to make sure that you're talking about what's really going on in a way that's going to help you move the conversation forward, because that of course is the goal in all of this. So that's number one, use your words. Number two, while you're using your words, this is also very important, no yelling. Don't get into a yelling, screaming match with one another, because when that happens, no one is listening. If you get to this point in the conversation, it's not going to work. You need some time to cool off. You need some time to back away. You need some time to let things die down a bit. So don't yell. Even if, and this is really important too, even if you are someone who has a loud voice, if you're just a loud talker and that's the natural way that you communicate, it's really important for you to know that about yourself, so that when you are in heated conversations, when our voices tend to naturally rise, you want to pay extra close attention to that, so it doesn't come off in a way that you are being much more aggressive than you probably mean to. So that's number two, no yelling, even when you have a loud voice. Number three, and this kind of goes along with one and two that I talked about, with using your words and not yelling. Number three is take time outs, plan for them. So if you find yourself in a situation where you are heated and you can't use your words, you can't find the words to use, you're in a situation where you feel yourself beginning to yell, your voice is elevating and you need some time to cool off, take time out. So it's really important to recognize that either partner can ask for a time out. The other piece to that timeout is when one partner asks for it, the other one must respect that. You don't want to push if someone is saying, hey, I just give me a second. I need a second. Let's take a break. You don't want to continue pushing. You don't want to continue prodding, because that's not going to help the situation. So make sure that you take timeouts. Now, here's the thing about timeouts also that's really important. When you take a timeout, agree on a time that you're going to come back together. So you don't want to take an indefinite timeout and then you never come back and discuss the issue that's going on. You want to make sure that you take a timeout, you put an end cap on it, and typically you don't want that to be longer than 24 hours. Now, there may be certain situations where it may need to go a little bit longer, depending on if scheduling or something emergent has come up, and that's okay. But make sure that you come back to it, because you don't want the issue to linger and start to fester. So when you take a timeout, a couple of things: ask for the timeout. The person who is asking for the timeout, call for that. The other individual, the other partner, make sure that you respect that and don't push, and then put a time limit on it. Hey, let's come back to this. And sometimes it may only be 5 minutes. Hey, give me 5 minutes just to kind of regroup. We'll come back. Maybe it's 30 minutes. Maybe it's, you know what? This is too heated. There's too much in this for us. How about let's table this until tomorrow at 6 o'clock when we get home from work. Or let's table this for tomorrow evening when we come home and we finish doing what we need to do, and we carve out the time to have this conversation. So make sure that you're paying attention to that, and that you're doing that when you need those timeouts. Number four, this one is important as well. All of these are important, but this one is important as well. Come to a compromise. In other words, give a little bit. Listen, it is not worth ending a relationship over something that really isn't that important. The goal is not for you to win at all costs. The goal is not for you to be right all the time. The goal is not for you to be the one who always has all the answers. The goal is to come to a compromise so that both of you, yourself and your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that may be, that you come to an understanding and a compromise that's going to benefit the both of you and move the relationship forward. So don't dig your heels in and get into a battle where you are not willing to give at all. You're not willing to compromise, because that too will erode your relationship. If you can't come to a compromise, go back to number three and take a time out. Maybe you need some time to think about it a little bit more. Maybe you need to go and pray about it a little bit more. Maybe you need to pray about it together. Maybe you just need to sit and be quiet and allow some time and some space to be between you, the two of you, and whatever the hot button issue is. So come to a compromise. And then the last one, number 5, which I've been saying this the whole time that we've been talking about this, is express your gratitude for protecting the integrity of the relationship. Once you've gone through all of these stages, you've used your words, you're not yelling, you've taken the time out, you've come to compromise, and you've kind of gotten to a place now where we've resolved whatever the issue has been. We've worked through what we need to work through. Now express your gratitude to your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Express to them your appreciation, your gratitude for doing the work and preserving the relationship and working together on whatever the issue may have been, so that you're not creating this ongoing toxic, difficult relationship where there are issues that are constantly unresolved in your relationship. So, those are the 5 that we had. We're rounding out our conversation on disagreeing without being disagreeable. And remember, we said the first one is use your words. Number 2, we said no yelling, even when you have a loud voice. You don't get to yell just because you have a loud voice. Number 3, take time outs, ask for them, and then respect them once they've been asked for, but always put an end cap on it and come back around to whatever the issue is. Number 4, come to a compromise. Don't try to win at all costs. It's not worth it. So come to a compromise that is going to be beneficial and acceptable for both of you. And then finally, once you've done that, the issue has been resolved. You've come to a compromise. You're moving forward. Express gratitude to one another for doing the work and preserving the relationship and continuing to build a healthy relationship that you can be proud of, that you can continue to grow in, but more importantly, one that honors God. So, those are the tips that I have for you. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope this has been beneficial. If you missed the live a couple of weeks ago, go back. I believe it's still on my feed. Go back to that one so you can catch the first 5 tips that I gave and then add that to these. So there are 10 tips altogether. Jot those down, take notes, put them in your phone, whatever that may be. Kind of, take a quick look at them from time to time when you're not in the heat of an argument. So when one comes up, you'll remember them and you can start to use them. Also, if you have not signed up for my newsletter, make sure that you do that. When you do that, you're going to get a free gift from me. It's a 14-day devotional that I've written that prayerfully will bless you in a major, major way. So that is available to you. Go to my website, katherinebarner.org. You simply click the subscribe to newsletter button, and it will take you through that process of being able to download that free gift for you. Also, some of you have been getting emails from me about the Mind Body Work Summit that I told you about a couple of weeks ago. That is actually taking place this week. It was yesterday, today, and tomorrow that we are doing that summit. You can still register. Even if you missed day 1, you can still register for day 2 and day 3. We're going to be getting started tonight at 7 p.m. So if you want to catch that, go to the website. The link is bit.ly/MBW Summit. You can still register. You'll get all the information. You'll be able to join us tonight for part 2. Last night was mine, myself and Dr. Angela Clack. I had a great conversation talking and teaching the ladies that were online about mind. Today, we're going to be talking about body. So we have 2 other ladies who are going to be coming on talking about fitness and nutrition. And then tomorrow is the work piece, putting it all together and holding you accountable and making it happen, because it doesn't make sense to hear all the information but never do anything with it. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to have you join us. And here's the best part: it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay for it at all. So it's free. We've got some amazing things for you. When you register, you're going to be able to get the workbook that comes along with it. There's an accountability piece that each speaker is giving you. There's also some free giveaways that each speaker has for you. So there's a ton of stuff in there that you want to make sure that you get, but you have to register. So feel free to do that. If you're on Instagram, go to the link in my bio. It'll take you right to it. If you're on other platforms, the website again is bit.ly/MBW Summit. So that is there for you. Make sure that you log on, you check that out. Like I said, yesterday was day one. We're going to be cranking out day two today. We're going to be starting at 7 o'clock. Actually, the pre-show for that starts at about 6:40. So jump over to my Facebook page. We'll be live there for the pre-show. And then we'll go, for those who have registered, we'll go into another group that's specifically for those who registered at 7 o'clock. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure that you register so that you can jump in there. And then, of course, as always, if you have questions or comments, feel free to send those to, you can send those to my email, info@katherinebarner.org. I'm more than happy to engage with you there if you have questions or if there are things that you want to hear about. I sent out an email a couple of weeks ago, got some responses back about some things that people are wanting to hear about. So I'm going to be adding that to the schedule over the next few times that we meet. Going to be talking about boundaries in particular. That's something that that folks wanted to hear about. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's super important. So you can always email that to me, and then always you can follow me on all social media at Miss Cat Speaks. That's here on Instagram as well as on Facebook. So again, hope this was helpful for you. We're never on here long, but wanted to hop on really quickly to give you this information. Again, if you want to join us for the summit, you can do that tonight. We will be on at 6:40. We'll be doing the pre-show, and then 7 o'clock we will go live. So again, take care. Hope this has been helpful for you. I will see you back here in 2 weeks. We will be tackling another important subject to help you on your walk, to help you as you continue to journey to be the absolute best that you can be, not for you, but to be the best that you can be ultimately so that you can do all that God has called you to do. So take care. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you in 2 weeks.